Who is Dan Bigham? I like that one. Retired pro cyclist, according to Pro Cycling Stats, and just an engineer. It's just aero. I think when people say you're only fast because you're aero, it's like, well, who cares? I'm fast. There's a reason I'm here and can ride that quick. And yeah, it's not that physiologically I'm this epic specimen. It's just that I've committed to the process and willing to try a whole lot of things. Every big name in every era has a go at it because you can compare across eras. The rules, at least to a certain point, have been consistent and enabled athletes from different eras to compare themselves to others. Obviously all big names have had a go, your Merckx's, your Mosers. 10 months ago I was in this exact velodrome on the 1st of October, day before my 30th birthday, and I had a go at the British Hour Record, which at the time was held by Sir Bradley Wiggins. The British Hour was always a stepping stone towards this. It was something I wanted to do, and I think for me it was kind of a box ticking exercise to show you're capable of having a go at the World Hour Record, because it's such a leap, not just a leap in financial terms, but a leap in commitment, pressure, everything else. So the actual British Hour itself, I pretty much self-funded the entire thing, as not cheap, but equally nowhere near the level of investment needed to put this on. And not just investment, the level of resource and support needed. It's not a small undertaking to have a go at the World Hour Record, and yeah, the British Hour Record meant a lot to me, but now I've got to kind of move things forward.
Every now and again you come across someone that's got something special, and you can't quite put words to what it is, but they've just got something. You put Dan in a lab, you test him physiologically, average, bang average. There's a drive and a determination and an intelligence and like just sticking to the processes and like the self-belief that he has as a person, but it's not arrogance. He genuinely believed 6 years ago that he would break the World Hour Record. With Dan, he always does surprise you in that how he does always find a way to do a little bit extra, do a little bit more, be a little bit more optimized. That is what is special about him. It's, like I say, it's hard to put a word on, but it's different.
Thermal management is so critical. It's this tipping point or balancing act, really. So as you're riding, you're producing power, but actually not a huge amount makes it to the pedals, about 20–25%. Everything else pretty much is heat. So you're a big radiator, really. So you've got to get rid of that. And obviously we're trying to optimize every bit of performance, and what matters for us is the ability to maintain power production throughout. We want to put as much energy in as we can in that 1 hour. So the way to do that is to help your body to adapt. Chris from Core, he basically joined us for every different practice run or test run that we might have done, and he came along with the paint suit idea, which was really helpful actually. It's by popping a paint suit on, you basically get that insulating effect. You stop your body from basically being able to evaporate all that sweat, so you can get really hot really quick, and it's nice and easy to tidy up as well. The last hour, or like a hour on any given turbo, I'll put the suits on. So probably getting 3 or 4 hours like that a week, something like that. It's more than a month. I've been doing sessions like that now for 3 months. Pretty much when I started, it'd be like you ride hard for a few minutes, I don't know, 15–20 minutes, core temp hits that, and then you ease the power off. Then your body adapts to it, and the heat impacts you less, so your performance window becomes a bit bigger. You can hit your best numbers when it's really hot, whereas normally like, you drop off when it gets hot. It's horrific. A lot of it still is definitely process, and throughout the practice runs we definitely dialed all of that in, the amount of slush that I could ingest. It literally becomes an ice eating competition, which no, it's not particularly enjoyable, but you know, it's worth it in the end. Basically fire as much slush as we could down to get ourselves as core temp as cool as you can. And then we'd also done a lot on the warm-up side, basically reduce how much we needed to warm up to hit the target of basically like physiologically being ready, mentally being ready. Brain freeze is definitely a serious problem in the warm-up. So I'd done research to try and understand a bit more about techniques for eating ice. I don't know if it's a normal thing, but that was quite a challenge when you've got 2 kilos to get down you and trying to focus on everything else around the preparation for the hour ahead. But yeah, it's part of it if you want to win. As a person, I'm not really averse to change, even so close to competition or even a world hour record attempt. And most people would probably say, don't try anything new on race day. So I guess taking it off a few days out answers that question. So it's not new on race day, it's new 2 days before. We're quite lucky with the partners that we had into the hour record, that they brought so much to the plate. It was always going to be a short time frame. The project itself began literally at the start of the year, and not even 6 months really run into it with developing new frames and wheels and everything else that goes with that. So there are new things coming very late in the day that we could trial. Planning the time in to do the aero testing to answer the questions, so the different suits that BioRacer have brought, the different handlebar combinations that Inerello had developed and brought, just gave us new opportunity to optimise and to just be 100% confident that we had the fastest setup going into the hour record. As an athlete, I've always been in the situation where I'm responsible for getting myself to the event, to my bike, sorting my bike, getting my bike through scrutineering and everything else. That's always been my responsibility. And then to join a team where you can trust everybody to do their job perfectly, and those responsibilities are completely removed, means I don't feel that tension so much, or even at all. It was such a nice feeling, even for all the days going into it, that you have complete trust of everybody surrounding you, and that they can perform, and you know they're going to perform, and that they'll do the best that they can, and that they're prepared. And yeah, it meant that I wasn't worried, wasn't stressed, wasn't pressured. I just had to while the time away and go through the processes. I think I definitely have a focus on things like breathing and visualization. So what is going to happen? What am I going to do? How am I going to ride my bike? It seems like a simple question, but there's fine details that you want to make sure at the forefront of your mind. And I think it's just going through them. And yeah, I was clear, really clear plain sailing into that start gate, which is, as an athlete, there's nothing more you could ever ask for. I was definitely stressed in the sense of like the pressure of what's coming up, but it wasn't in a bad way. It was more like challenge state of like, I'm stressed, I'm rising to the occasion, but I'm pretty keen to just get started, and you want time to fly to basically be in the start gate and get going. The moment the gate releases, everything disappears, the stresses, the worries, it's all, I guess, irrelevant by that point, because it's all begun and now's your time. And yeah, I think that's all you want really as an athlete, to ignore the run-in and get to the start and do your thing. I need to feel that I've ticked every box, that I know that I've absolutely done all that I can sitting on the start line, because yeah, you're 45, 50 minutes in and those doubts can become huge in your head, and you don't want any doubts. You want to focus on the task at hand and execute the best performance you can. So making sure those, the boxes are ticked, the questions are answered, and you can just be confident. I had a good idea of where people were in the velodrome. Obviously you're lapping around every sort of 16 seconds or so. So you get a bit of an idea peripherally of who's standing where, even from like little conversations that are going on, but you're not attuned to it, you're not paying attention, it's kind of background noise, I guess, in a way. And yeah, for me it was more about focusing on the task at hand and doing that. I'm not thinking about the end goal of like, I need to ride 55.089 kilometres. There were three main things that I would focus on in the sense of like what I can control, which is my line. Obviously you want to ride the shortest line you can. My head position, staying aero, and my breathing, keeping control of that. I knew if I lose control of my breathing, I tend to lose control of everything else, and then it always a rapid decline to not riding at the speed required.
You're all building up to this climax in that final 15, because we know there's always this crisis point at 45 minutes when you either fail or you win. And so we wanted to, this is kind of the problem in physiology, like if it's an hour long, if you start cheering straight away 5 minutes in, like where does that build to? Like you want this big like orchestra crescendo of performance at the end. So we wanted to tailor that in. So the first 45 minutes was silence, nothing.
We had the 10 minute I guess, cut off. There was, the finish line's in sight by that point. I knew it was possible. You're on target for it, and it's more about the encouragement. So to that point, it's a lot more about modulation and doing things well, so that in the back end things don't fall apart. And at that moment, it's really about scraping the barrel, emptying the tank, whatever you want to call it, just full gas to the line and having all the encouragement from everybody around.
Come on, Dan, let's go! Come on, Dan!
Yeah, I heard a lot of different voices. Everybody's obviously quite distinct. There was only 10, 15 people in the velodrome, and I know each of them very well, so knowing who they were, and the fact they all mean something to me from different areas, whether it's my wife Joss or my dad, or even the people who are helping with like Chris and Michael, and then Ben as well. Ben being trackside. Every moment that I'd broken our record of history, he was shouting out the name of the person that I'd beaten, which was a pretty cool thing that he'd thought to do. And when you hear some of the names that are getting shouted out, it's like, wow, that's cool. Let's keep pressing on.
Come on, Dan! Come on! Let's go! Woo! Let's go! Come on!
The execution of the performance I've not seen across any sport. I put that up there of the best things I've seen, and it's not just because he's my mate, but it was like his position discipline was amazing, his line was amazing, Like, I just couldn't believe how easy it was.
Well done.
I predicted 55.5, so I went 48 metres further than I thought. Honestly, like, so easy until like a few laps to go. It never bit. Like halfway round I was like, how am I going to hold 16.0s for the rest of this? But like breath was always there and it just kept coming and I was like, actually I can lift it. Even like that last 5, you're whacking it and it's like 0 still. I'm like, wow, I'm on one. You forget about the pain. I think the pain anyway, it's like a sweet kind of pain, you enjoy it. It's not suffering in the sense of hard work, it's more enjoyment, like you've kept the hand in the fire for so long and that sheer relief. Obviously you're fatigued, you're tired, but you're not at the limit of absolute exhaustion of death. You've got through it and achieved something pretty historic, and the emotions just flood in. It's pretty amazing.